Hey gals, welcome to Binge Free Bestie, the podcast where we ditch the diets, break free from binge eating, and build a safe and empowered relationship with our bodies. I'm your host, Nick Carberia, a registered therapist who totally gets it. Binge eating and body image struggles? Yep, I've been there, done that, and I've got the therapy bills to prove it. But here's the good news, bestie. I've recovered and I'm here to help you to do the same. This potty is all about real, evidence-based strategies from my therapy practice, plus down-to-earth, relatable girl talk with me and some of my amazing besties and other experts who have their own stories, tips, and tricks to share with you. So, whether you're tired of the diet cycle, ready to ditch the shame spiral, or just want to feel more confident in your own skin, then you've come to the right place. It's time to get real about food freedom, body acceptance, self-care, and building a life you truly love. Let's get into it, besties.
Hey bestie, welcome back to the Binge Free Bestie Potty. I'm Nick, your food freedom hype gal, registered therapist, and also a fellow millennial who has lived through the diet culture circus of the 2000s and the 90s too. So today we're going to be talking about what I call the Millennial Body Image Hangover. So I'm talking about all the toxic stuff that we grow up with in the 90s and early noughties and how it actually messes with us today. More importantly, I'm also going to talk to you about how you can actually start to heal from that. So to begin, I'm going to paint a wee picture. So just cast your mind back to 2002. And you may have been watching things like The Biggest Loser, where people are collapsing on treadmills whilst trainers are just screaming at them and berating them. Maybe you were trying the Special K diet. Maybe you were having 2 shakes a day and that sad little bowl of cereal that was supposed to transform your body. Or maybe you're just praying that low-rise jeans won't show the wrong bit of skin when you sit down at school or work. Okay, so for many of us, this was our normal. And we were raised on body hate disguised as health and well-being. And between us, obviously, we know this is still happening now. But the problem is that stuff like this doesn't just disappear when you grow up. You become a woman and everything just clicks. No, it doesn't. We carry this with us. And that's why so many millennial women still feel really anxious around food and critical of their bodies today. So let's talk a little bit about how it actually messed us up. I'm just going to give you some quick fire examples. First, we learned through all of this diet culture, body image, destroying madness from the 90s, early noughties, we learned that thinness equals worthiness. We learned to fear things like carbs. We feared fat, we feared sugar, we feared eating after 8 p.m. We were also told that our body is a before and after, or our body is a before waiting for an after. And we also internalized that exercise was punishment for eating, or to make up for eating. But the real kicker is that even if you don't consciously believe those things anymore, even if you've been listening along to this podcast and things are starting to click and you understand that yes, diet culture was harmful, no, carbs aren't bad, actually my weight and shape does not define my worth. Okay, cool, you believe those things now, awesome. But those programs, so those things that you learned as you were growing up, they are often still there, ticking along in the background, running in the background. So I like to refer to this as kind of like a bad hangover from the Y2K era. But the good thing is that just like any sort of hangover you might get, there are remedies. There are ways to tackle it and get through and start feeling good again. So I'm going to tell you what those things are. And this episode is going to be short and sweet because we don't need to overcomplicate it. So the first thing you can do, number 1, is I want you to name it to tame it. So when you have that little voice that pops up and says, oh, you shouldn't be eating that, or you'd look so much better if you lost a little weight, I just want you to pause and notice it. And I want you to know that that little voice you're hearing in your head is not you. That is diet culture talking. That is echoes of a system that taught you that your body wasn't good enough unless it looked a certain way. And when you can name it as your diet voice, or whatever label you want to give it, you can give it something fun. I used to call mine my binge brain. You get to create a space between you and the thought. Okay, it's just a thought. So you get to say things like, hey binge brain, or hey diet voice. That's actually not my truth. That is conditioning, and I choose not to believe that anymore. So that is step one. I want you to name it, to tame it. Next, number two, I want you to reclaim your body story. So your body is not a trendy piece that needs to fit into whatever decade that we're in. Because remember when I was talking about those low-rise jeans before? I was about to say no one's wearing them anymore, but actually they are making a comeback. Or think about like that Kim Kardashian era where it was all about having a big butt and big boobs, and now it's kind of swinging back that other way to more of that, heroin chic kind of Kate Moss look. I just want you to bear that in mind. Think about all the different body trends that you have witnessed and been a part of over your life so far. And you'll notice that it's just a revolving door. So only a few of us actually naturally fit into a body trend at any one time. And it always swings another way. So even if you did fit the mold, it's probably just temporary. And even if you were dieting or over-exercising or whatever you were doing to try and fit that mold, even if you did something like surgery, the mold is going to change. And you're just going to have to keep running on that treadmill to keep up with the trends. But your body is not a fashion accessory, okay? Your body is your home, and it's carried you through life until now, and it will continue to be there for you. So reclaiming your body story means that you choose to write a new narrative. Write a narrative if you want to. Everything's optional, but why not? Write a narrative where your body is respected for what it does for you. Okay, this is something called body neutrality. Why not love your body for all the amazing, incredible things that it does for you, and let go of judgment for how closely that is matching a trend that is pretty fleeting. So that's my second tip. Reclaim your body story. Number 3, I want you to start practicing food neutrality. So, as we said before as well, one of the things that we learned when we were growing up is, carbs and fat are evil. Fat is the enemy. Carb is evil. But hey, I know you know this logically, but let's just reiterate it. Food is just food. But diet culture moralized it. So bread became bad. Salad became good. And when we would feel guilty if we ate too much bread or even any bread or rice or something like that. And we would feel guilty for eating. I want you to start practicing neutrality with food. And what that really means in its simplest form is just taking away that morality. Take the morality away from your plate. Pasta is not a sin. Cake is not cheating. Food is fuel, yes, definitely. Fuels our body. It lets us do, without food we can't do the things we want to do. Food is fuel. But we're not going into that kind of gym bro mentality here where we only see food as fuel. Because food is also all about connection. Think about all the beautiful times you've spent with people you love over food. Food is part of our cultures. Food is something that allows us to experience pleasure through our senses. And none of those things determine your worth. So you are no better or worse a person because of what you ate today. And if that little voice is going off in your head right now, remember, that is the voice of diet culture. It is not your highest, truest, wisest self, because that version of you would not believe that at all. Okay? Fourth tip, and I'm going to give you 5 tips today. Number 4 is joyful movement, not punishment. So, again, many of us grew up thinking that exercise was a way to pay back what we ate. So that whole calories in, calories out mentality. So really, it's no wonder that a lot of us come to dread exercise. But exercise or movement is not meant to be punishment, or it shouldn't be. You don't have to allow it to be. It's meant to be a celebration of what your body can do. It's meant to be a way to enhance your mental health, to improve your energy, your stamina, your flexibility, your mobility, how you can actually show up in life. That's what we can use movement for, not to make up for what you've eaten. So the concept of joyful movement is all about this, and I go into this really deeply in my program, The Breakup, and I'm going to kind of show you how to let go of that all or nothing thinking around exercise and feeling like exercise is a chore. Because joyful movement can look like dancing in your lounge, it can look like going for a walk with your dog, stretching on the floor, or joyful movement can just be laying on the floor, grounding, breathing, just doing something really slow and mindful. Movement is supposed to add to your life, and you get to define how it does that, okay? Not your gym coach, not anyone else, not that little voice in your head. It's about seeking what you want, what's going to enhance your life. And that could be the energy, the fun, the joy. Is adding, we're not taking away. So I will keep doing a few more episodes on joyful movement because it's such a big one, and I'll give you some more ideas around it. But that's something to chew on for today. Joyful movement, not punishment. Okay, and the last thing to help you to tackle this millennial body image hangover is community and compassion, self-compassion. So with binge eating, and I've mentioned this many times, is really hard to heal in isolation. Well, it's a lot easier if you have people around you who get it. And one of diet culture's kind of cruelest trick or meanest trick was making us think that we had to deal with all of this and battle our bodies alone, in silence, holding so much guilt and shame. But the truth is, we heal so much faster and we heal so much deeper when we feel seen and supported and understood. So that's why spaces like this podcast and like The Breakup and the Binge Free Bestie community matter so much. And there's heaps of literature backing up what I'm saying right now. The evidence tells us that when people have community and they have a safe space to share and open up and be seen and held and connect with other people who actually get it, that's when the light bulb moments happen. That's when you realize you were never broken and you were just carrying a story that wasn't yours, and that you can choose to rewrite it. So I hope that was really helpful. I hope that if you've been feeling that millennial body image hangover, I want you to know that it's not your fault that it's there, and that you didn't choose to grow up in a culture that made you believe that your worth was your waist size, the size of your undies, whatever. I know I felt so driven to get down to a certain underwear size. I was fixated on it. And then when I got down to it, guess what? Still wanted to change. Just moved my fixation to something else. So you can choose to heal from those kind of fixations the same way I did. That's what I do. That is my work or my mahi, and I'm so passionate about this. So I'm opening up the doors to my program, The Breakup, super soon. I can't give you an exact date because I'm just waiting on my website to finish being built. What I can tell you is that as of today's date, and I record these episodes a week or two ahead just so that I don't get behind. Today's the 1st of September, and I've just approved the final draft of the website. So that means they need a couple of weeks to build it out. As soon as it is done, I'm going to be opening the doors to the women who are on my wait list. So you'll get first dibs, and I have some surprises and things like that. That'll be going out exclusively to those on that VIP wait list. So if you want to be on that, all you need to do is head to the show notes, and I've got a link in there. If it's a few weeks away when you happen to be listening to this, chances are you can dive straight in and enroll anytime. There's a few different options, so check those out on the website. You can either do a self-led recovery, or you can join a group, or if you really can, you can work one-on-one with me privately. And one more thing before you head off. If you love this episode, and if you're enjoying this podcast, I'd really love to ask you a favor. I am growing this space, and I want to push the reach of the podcast out further so that I can empower and support more and more women around the planet. This podcast is like my way to give back to the community, our global community, because I know that it's not always accessible for people to be able to invest in a program or working with me. So the podcast comes out every week, and it's free, and it's full of actionable, real, therapist-led strategies. So if you're finding it helpful, I'd love to know. You can always DM me on Instagram and ask me if there's something in particular you'd like me to speak to. And I would love a review. If you're finding this helpful, please leave me a 5-star review. And if you do that, screenshot it, send it to me on Instagram, and I will give you a free copy of my 200-page therapeutic workbook, Embrace Your Body, as a big thank you. So send me the screenshot of that review if you'd like that, and I will do that for you. Okay, so that is it for today, bestie. Remember, you're not a before, you're not a before, you're not broken, and you are definitely not alone. So I will catch you next week for another empowering chat. Next week we're going to be talking about guilt that you might experience after a binge or overeating episode, and I'm going to tell you how to be kind to yourself and get through that time. Until then, take care, and I will catch you next week. Ciao!